What's up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat, and we're here at the Nerd Castle today playing the next episode of Stoic Studios' fantastically animated RPG strategy game, The Banner Saga. In the previous episode, we had seen some smoke along the horizon, bad things were happening. In general, the Dredge are pretty much handing the collective asses to all of society right now, and so we're going to try and get in the way of that train of destruction and see if we can't do some good deeds for those around us. Let's pet the woolly thing of travel and be on our way. Now, in the previous episode, we had lost a little bit of a battle, and I had a question for you guys as to whether we got like a lesser loss or a greater loss, depending, but I don't know if you guys were able to come up with an answer as of yet. With the village still a day away, you're eating on the march. A varl approaches. We had words earlier, said Gris. You recall him claiming that he didn't care for your command. You were right in what you did. Let me join your guard and fight at your side. Pride hangs on his posture and sincerity in his eyes. You protect me? You doubt his ability to do the job. Yeah, makes sense. I'll prove myself, he says, awkwardly taking his leave. Well, I kind of wanted him in my group. I thought there was going to be like a further conversation right there, and unfortunately I wanted to get myself a new varl. But it doesn't look like I'm going to get one. You're close enough to hear Dredge rattling through the buildings below. The village seems to slither. Pull them out of the houses, Mogir suggests. Slag can't resist an ambush. We'll have better luck in an open field. Alright, let's take the fight to him. You send your shield bangers forward to get their attention. Before long, the Dredge have gathered and are ready for a fight. Yep, you can agitate them easily. Let's see, Dredge line the battlefield, weapons drawn, the fight seems inevitable. You have 160, so you have like 560 versus 511, assuming all of our varl aren't completely and totally worthless outside of like the blacksmith hut or the potter's hut or whatever it is that these other varl do. Make extremely large pots! The two forces are very evenly matched. There is no guarantee of victory here. Let's charge, forget it. Let's get on into this thing. You consider taking your trusted allies and leading the charge. Battering down the enemy will throw you into the thick of battle where fighting is most dangerous, but a strong charge will save lives. Let's rush into battle. I don't have time for any of this thought. Thinking. Strategy. We're just gonna run straight in and just start hitting shit. We're gonna start hitting shit in the face, basically. That's how this whole thing's gonna go down. We've got Hakon, Mogir. I got Luden and Eric in the back. I got rid of Ursa because I wasn't a fan of her ability. I just didn't feel like with her low strength cap, she can only have a 9 strength, even at her best. And as a bowman, that means that really all I could ever use her for is shattering armor from the backfield, which she could do 3 damage to armor, but I don't know. I wasn't so seduced by her abilities. I may give her another look in the future, but for now I wanted to give Luden a chance. So let's get our frontline battle going, and let's see what we're up against. Hopefully it's not too many of those nasty boss, like I think they were called like Dredge, I don't know, like Dredgernauts or I don't know. They were basically Dredge berserkers with giant like buster swords that were ready to just clap us upside the head with all kinds of steely might, and it was very, very unfortunate. Oh wow, that's quite the battle. Okay. Well then. I think our plan right now... Scourge Warrior, he uses Tremble. He has Tremble as well. Alright, well, throwing myself into the thick of the fighting appears to have been a miscalculation. This may not be going quite as well as I had expected. However, we can move people around a tad, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and put my guy with the shield right in the center. And we're going to try and focus to one side of the field. And we're going to see how this whole thing goes down. Unfortunately, I can't guarantee that this is going to work out in our favor. But it is something, so at least we can try our best here. Let's go ahead and ready the battle. And it appears as though our first turn, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and draw this whole thing back into the corner because we have so many people that have Sundering Impact. We have a number of people who have abilities like Tempest. We have a lot of guys who are able to do just like crazy spin and deal damage attacks where they just sit around whirlwinding all day and just being dizzy and having vertigo. So let's pull this back into the corner. Let me look at the attack order though too and figure out who's going first. So it's not that big dude, which means it must be him. Okay, he's up next. Hopefully we'll have the time to draw everybody back into a corner and hide a bit. So let's play the long game here. They're going to be tripping over their own legs, which is the good part, because they're fielding so many large individuals like we are. They are going to be slightly tripping over themselves, which will help us in the future. Who's up next? He is. And what's his movement range looking like? He can move to there. And if he's right there, he can't take a swing at anybody. So let's move to... Let me check that one more time. I want to make sure. So it's that one right there. So if I move to, say, right there, we should be alright. And when is he up? He's not up for a little bit, so it appears as though we're going to have a little bit of a reprieve before he gets his turn. Alright, so let's draw all of our frontline guys back. And if I can get them to lump around me, my plan is basically here just to kind of clap off as many of these Tempests as I can. If we can get a bunch of people just spinning and winning, I think that'll leave me grinning and, I don't know, sinning and twinning and something. I don't know, there's lots of words that rhyme right there, and I don't feel like going any further. I'm gonna stop before my teeth start to ache here. You guys know that whenever I go off on like a ridiculous diatribe, it gives me a toothache. Let's put Luden with his crazy sideburns over here. What was his ability? He has Impale, so he has the same thing that our dear friend Trigagav has. I'm gonna put him down here in the center. And who's up next? Him. Okay, so he's not gonna be able to get within reach of anybody either. And then Eric, what is his ability? Okay, so he rallies, he gives people willpower, so that should be alright. And he's up next, so let's go ahead and bypass that turn. And unfortunately, I need him like over here so I can make a line. Because as of the next turn, what I would have liked is for Hakon to jump in there and one-shot him if he could get away with it. However, that doesn't appear as though it's going to be an option from now, so whatever. I may have to kind of pull them to the front and take him over to that flank. Either way, we've got to get kind of like a half oval, like a quarter oval thing going on in the corner right here to make sure that we don't get outflanked and spanked. In any case, let's end the turn. I'll move him to right there just to prepare him for the next turn when we run into the enemy and bad things start happening. Damn, he made it. I was hoping he wouldn't be able to close in that amount of time. Either way, let's go ahead and we're going to drop him right here. And what I'd like to do is he's got 11 strength versus his 9 armor. He'll do 2 damage. That's not going to be enough. Where is his turn at? Hold on, let me see here. No. Drop your... Stop that. You stop that right now. There we are. Had a little bit of sticky targeting going on. He's not going to have a turn for a while. And other people are. So I think what I'd like to do here is we'll use Bring the Pain just to set him up for future turns so that if anybody manages to get closer. I don't think anybody will, but it's a precaution. For now, we're just trying to make sure that everything works out the way we want it to. I'm going to leave him right where he's at. I don't know what resting does for a character, but at the moment, I do have people trapped in my back lines, so I'm thinking actually it may be a better idea to move him out like somewhere over there. How far can he move right now? He can move up to there, so unfortunately the move that I want to make is not one that I can make. Which is really, really bad. Especially since, when is he up? He's up next. Alright, we'll just wait and we'll see what happens. Oh, he's gonna spin around that way. Okay. What's he rocking? He's rocking Tempest right now. If I put him right there, he's got 13 strength versus 16 armor. So he'll do 6 there, and he'll do 3 right there. Not necessarily the huge amount of damage that one might look for in this case. I do want to draw together towards our lines. Who's up next right here? So he's got a while. He's got a while. He's coming up pretty soon. But the next couple moves are going to all be people who are ineffective at the moment. I think I will... Oh god, that's a tough choice. I don't really know. Sort of over pigeonholed myself here. He can do 6 damage to this gent if he wants to. I think I'm going to go for it. So there it is. That guy shouldn't be able to do much anymore. He should be pretty much worthless for the remainder of the fight. You guys had mentioned in a previous episode that I might consider getting enemies down to really, really low health and then leaving them there, and I think that is a good idea with regards to the strategy because it eliminates them, or it eliminates the extra turns that the bosses are going to generate as a result of a lower fighting force. I'm going to try and keep these two together and maybe keep them as like a tag team duo to fight with some of these littler guys. The humans in this game aren't quite so useful at the annihilation as one might hope. I'm going to spiral him around a tad, and we'll end that turn. He's obviously going to move in and take a swing at my tank. Yep, and there it is. However, we did get the counter blow off, which is really, really nice. We could also think about what's his strength sitting at 8, and what was his ability to rally. Well, unfortunately, I don't think that's going to do me much good right now. I'm going to make a hole so that we can dig him out of the back lines in the next turn or so. And we'll kind of circle these guys around when we see an opportunity, or maybe use them as a little bit of bait for some of these backline guys. Split the fight up a tad. He can rally people. We might consider rallying somebody in the future, but not right now. Alright, so his armor is now faltering, which means it is going to be in our best interest to get him out of the back lines. I mean, his strength is really, really high, so we need him in the fight right now. He's falling back for reasons unknown. I think our plan now should be one more time to do Bring the Pain on him. So now his armor has been eliminated. He is actively taking damage, however, right now, so we're going to have to be careful about that fact. Let's get our fighters in here. We're going to get our shooters up. And he's got 17. He should be able to wipe him out almost with one hit. So let's move over to here. And there it is. He has now been marginalized completely and totally. He's been written along the margin like notes in my college classes. For him, we got 6 damage going right there. With this guy, I think, what was his ability? He's got Tempest. That's not going to do us a whole lot of good right now. We need to start working on that armor, so let's throw out there with a little bit of willpower. And we did luck out a little bit in that these big guys don't appear to really want to engage with us, which is strange. I mean, it's unexpected. For sure, it is unexpected. So we could get down in here. We could deal 4 damage to that guy. We could also do a knockback if we thought we could do it, which would then put him at 9 health when he decides to get back into battle, which would give us a chance of deflection. I don't think that's an awful idea. I'm going to try it out. I'm going to play around with Impale right now just to see what happens. Well, it might be better just to spend the willpower and go for a 6 damage attack and put him down to 8, I think. Yeah, let's do that. So he's now down to 8 health, which means that he can deal no more. Basically, we've got a chance for a deflection right there, which is really, really nice. If we can kind of pull a swirly-do maneuver and make sure that his giant sword doesn't end up anywhere near our orifices, I think that's going to be a really nice thing. Now, we're going to do Rally, and we're going to rally on him since he's used up a lot of his willpower. And there it is. He's going to get himself a little bit of extra energy. He basically drank a Red Bull right there, a Viking Red Bull, which is the most potent type of Red Bull from what I've heard. I think I'm going to rotate him back and rotate him in. Although, we'll see what this unit does right here. Unfortunately, I've got this unit that's just kind of trapped. I'm in one of those Space Hulk-esque situations where my formation, unfortunately, was too tight when I deployed it. A bit more armor damage done. And now we have to make the decision whether or not it's going to be worth it to kill this unit right here. I think I'm going to kill this unit. To make room so that we could join the fight, and plus he was close to a promotion. I remember seeing that. That unfortunately is going to backfire on me slightly because that guy's going to be able to sally out now and cause problems for us. However, reforming this line is becoming a very, very drastic thing that I need to get away with like right now. And that turn there, he's going to continue fighting with, I can never remember their names, Bursey. There we are. I'm going to do a Tempest right here, I think, just to kind of clear out this front rank. Well, I could Tempest for the strength damage. He's got 10 left, which means he would do nothing to him, and he would kill him. Let's continue working on his armor. Why not? We'll get him down to 12. So there it is. They have a lot of boss-type characters who are big and beefy, essentially the varl equivalents of Dredge, so I'm trying to be careful about my maneuvers and the way that I decide to handle problems here. I believe what I'd like to do is, I feel like I'm really forcing him to soak a lot of damage right now, but in his next turn, what I'm going to try and do is shift him out and put him in, which should then wipe out this little group. But that leaves me a bit confused as to what I should do with some of my little spearmen and motivational troops here. On this side. He's got 3 out of 5. Gonna do my best to keep the little guys out of this main fight right here, because they have the potential of getting one-shotted by a lot of these bigger units. Unfortunately, that corner is still getting in the way. Now then. I think my goal at this point is probably just going to be to continue to use him as we've used him thus far. And that'll reduce the armor right there. That was pretty much what I expected to happen. I didn't have any other thoughts about it. I knew that was pretty much what was going to go down. He's got 15 strength. That is really scary for a unit that only has 9 armor, especially when is his next turn. So he's got a little bit of time left until his next turn. However, he has Tempest, which means I could potentially put him right there. And there it is. Very nice. Oh, wow. That was pretty intense. He took out his own units just to do that. Alright, well, he's got 12 left. Let's go ahead and just earn a promotion right here, although, what is his movement looking like? I suppose I could... What does he have? 5? He's got Tempest too. Let's go ahead and do that, because I'd rather deal the damage to him. Since he's already out of the fight, I'd like to get him out of the fight. Alright, and there it is. Now right here, we're just gonna have to sink this damage, unfortunately. Yep, that's a turd. We're just gonna have to flush out right, unfortunately. On this side, let's go ahead and have all of our spearmen join the fight. I'm gonna impale him. An interesting decision right there, but that's fine. If he wants to take himself out of the battle, I think he's trying to summon a new guy, right? He's wiggling his shaft vicariously. I think over here, I just need to get somebody in here to sunder out his armor, so that's what we're gonna do. And there it is. Wow, he's got a great ability to knock out armor. I forgot that I had given him something so useful. I'll try to keep that in mind for the future. Now down here, what do I want to accomplish? Well, I suppose we're just gonna go in and... let's think about Sundering Impact over here, because it should bounce to him, I think. It says adjacent, but I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. I realize adjacent may not be catacorner. Yeah, those are two completely different things. I'm mixing up my geometrical concepts here. It doesn't matter. It was worth a shot anyways. I was going to kill that guy in either case, so... we've got one big hitter left, which is very, very good, because near this point in the fight, I tend to notice that you've really run out of people who are combat effective, and that makes me very, very sad. Luckily, we appear to have a lot of people who are still good to go, so even though he almost got one shot, which is scary in most cases, I guess what I'd like to do now is let's continue working on his armor. And so down goes one of our hitters. It's okay though. Now I do realize that I've put him in kind of a terrible situation. But we'll see if we can deal with it. Who is this guy right here? He's summoning an ally on his next turn, of course. So his ally is going to get here in just a minute. And we are very, very outnumbered. Now what I think this guy is going to do is he'll probably jump on him. In fact, if I had to wager a guess, I think that's exactly what he'll do. Let's continue working on his armor. Okay, so we've got a new ally that's joined the fight. But he's way off to the side of the field, which isn't really that terrifying. With this guy here, I can impale him and knock him back, or with my attack I can go in and deal 6 damage, which is going to put him at 12. I think I'm just going to go kind of balls to the wall with him. We're going to put him on the glass with this guy. I just hope that it works out in our favor. On this side, we've still got this dude, who is completely and totally out of everything. Let's continue knocking his strength out, because his armor is low enough now to where I don't think he's going to be an eviscerating factor that could potentially knock us out of the fight. This guy we could hit for 17. I'm going to go over here. There it is. Does he have any willpower left? Oh, he does. But there's nothing adjacent. Damn, I thought he had whirlwind. Okay, well, we'll take it. We will take it. Let's kill this guy off, because I would love to eliminate some of these big bad guys on the field. Continue working that armor right there, because he's kind of hit that point where it's like the end of the rail for him. He's not really very useful to me right now. For this guy, oh, I have willpower left over up here. I am just messing up left and right. I probably could have popped that and done something a little bit better. Oh well. So, with Luden, what do I want to do with Luden? Well, Luden can go over here and he can fight with this guy. And we'll give him that so that he can impale him and do a little bit of extra damage. So there's 2 damage. He's going to kick him off the spear, because that's what a badass like Luden does. And for some reason, they always walk off in weird directions when you use that ability. So I'm going to start using it a lot more, because every time I use it, they walk all over the map randomly and just like wipe themselves out. No clue why they do it that way, but they do. Because he's got the ability to use so much linkage in fights, I think I'm going to try and raise him up a tad. He's got a 90% right there, a 70% chance. Let's kill the big guy off first. I don't know if I should risk a 70%. Let's just sunder the armor. It'll be fine. So he's down to 5 and 4 now. I was worried about this fight. When we walked in, I was like, damn, this seems to be one of those fights where they have a lot of dudes on their side. It made me feel a little bit nervous there for a minute. However, the strategy that you guys had suggested, where you kind of just sit around and kind of beat them to death slowly and don't finish off guys unless it's in a strategic sense, like you only kill off the guys that have a strategic value, whereas you leave the guys wounded that have no strategic value, that worked out really well. And so I think that's probably going to be the way, the modus operandi from here on out. I'm going to go ahead and lay him low right now. And so down he goes. We're down to a 3 versus, oh, it looks like 3 versus 4 anymore. We lost a couple dudes. Our tank did his job and he lasted a while, so that's cool. Let's earn Bercia promotion since he's kind of lower level than everybody else. A little bit more armor damage done right there. And what happens? Oh, I was going to say, what happens if you impale somebody? There it is. So he's going to go into pillage mode, which is cool, because he's not long for this world anyways. And we'll put him down to 1 HP, and this time we will not be chasing the enemy down. We're just going to go ahead and finish this thing off safely. And of course, Hakon is going to deliver the final blow, being the badass that he is. You take a moment to survey the battlefield. The enemy is being pushed back all the way down the line, just like before. And we're going to go ahead and pull back before they regroup. And so they scatter off into the distance. We lost 8 fighters and 20 varl. So yeah, I think if you do continue the fight right there, you take the full penalty. Because in the last fight, we lost way more men by trying to chase them down. So I guess we want to be very, very careful. We want to practice caution in this case. 11 freebie renown right there, which I'm proud of. That's going to be very, I'm not proud of it, I'm happy for it. It's going to be useful. Bodies blanket the area as though the snow itself had turned black and red. You walk between the clusters of survivors, taking account of your warriors. One group of survivors catches your eye, smiles on their faces as you approach. They call to you. "Not a varl lost here," says one. "Thanks to this hideous monster." You see Grist leaning on his shield, battered and bruised but smiling. "Still won't give me a chance, Hakon?" Well, I'll let Mogir know that you'll be joining us. He gives a wide grin. It's an honor, he says, and heads off to find Mogir. Let's go ahead and we're gonna break down and camp for now. And I think this is the point at which I'm gonna break off this episode. My name is Splattercat, thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for a rather long battle that ended out pretty well in our favor. I'm starting to get a feel for the game at this point. The previous episodes, even though it seems like my episodes are like 30 minutes long, you gotta piece those together, and I've only played the game like 3 hours at this point, so you know, I'm a slow learner as it comes anyways, so I'm a little slow, that's what my mom told me. But anyways, I'm trying to work on things, and I think I am getting a feel for the way the game plays out. You guys have been lending me a little bit of your personal strategy, and it's been making me get a little bit better. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. If you're interested in purchasing the Banner Saga, you can look down below in the description section, and it'll be right there for your perusal. Take care, and hi-do, everybody.